right? Because in 2007, when I started investing, Zuckerberg, Evan Williams and Jack Dorsey, David Karp, who founded Tumblr, I was betting on them because I'm like, oh, you're like me. You breathe for this shit. A couple years later, when this all got hot, the Social Network movie came out, everybody saw the money. Now I'm cool. Right? Like rappers that I think are the coolest in the world think I'm cool.
Cool, yeah.
Athletes that I think are the coolest, they think I'm cool. And how do I handle that? Not the way you would think. It makes me realize like, oh shit, again, I got lucky, gratitude, I'm thankful. I can't believe being an entrepreneur is now cool. When I was growing up, it wasn't.
Right.
But that also means everyone's always gonna try to be the cool thing. People always wanted to be a rapper or an athlete, or in the 80s, a rock star. So now what I'm seeing is a lot of people who just wanna be an entrepreneur because it's cool.
Right.
And what I'm looking for is, do I believe in this person that it's in their DNA, or are they subconsciously trying to be it because it's the thing?
Right.
Yeah.
And welcome to the Darren Woodson Show. For those of you that are joining us for the first time because you saw GaryVee on the title, welcome. We're glad you're here. A little rundown on who we are. We are three meatheads, three former athletes that are in the second phase of our life. We heard a guy last night said, I never say that I'm retired, ever. I was just real tired of football. And that's who we are, right? We're in the next phase. But with the world the way that it is today, the speed that innovation is happening, the way culture is changing, we just want to be a platform for perspective. We want to take a level-headed approach to it. We want to see both sides. We understand, okay, hey, why you feel that way, why you feel that way. We're going to share our opinions. They're going to be different from some of y'all's. But we want to take a logical, encouraging approach. And that's the biggest thing, is everything out there is divisive. Everything out there is, hey, if you don't feel the way that I feel, then you're wrong, or you're terrible, or you're a racist, or you're a bigot, or you're whatever it is. Look, we want to be the encouraging platform that takes the approach that, look, if we come together, man, we can accomplish a whole lot more. Right. We talk about everything. We talk about, think about this. You're sitting at a campfire with your guy friends, your girlfriends on a Friday night. If you got kids are at the babysitter, don't have to worry about anything. And you're just having a very real, transparent conversation. That's who we are at the Darren Woodson Show. And we're really glad that you joined us. Today, we've got GaryVee. And everyone, if you don't know who he is, get out from under the rock that you've been living under. But GaryVee is a phenomenal visionary person that has taken with very little of what he was given, and being an immigrant to New York early in life, didn't speak a word of English, and grown himself into a nine-figure entrepreneur. But the biggest thing that you'll get out of this podcast, and if you ever listen to him, is the passion. One of the things that you'll hear him say is that it's never about the money. I never get anxiety because I love what I do. Yeah. Just like we loved football. Darren, obviously, at the highest level for a very long time, one of the best to ever play the game. You love football. The reason you were great is because you loved it. Yes, money was a side benefit of it, but you loved it. GaryVee's the same way with entrepreneurship.
Superstar entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about. It's a man that has and GaryVee said so much passion, and we made the relation to those that are superstars in our world today, the Ronaldos, the
Jordans,
the Michael Jordans, the LeBron James, the guys who are passionate about the game and understand that it just some of it comes natural.
Yeah.
And that's what we saw in GaryVee. This is natural for him. He doesn't look at this as, well, this is a challenge, or I'm nervous about whatever it is. It's something that he does every single day. He's a serial entrepreneur. And if you've heard that term before, this is that guy, but he's a superstar entrepreneur, and he really loves what he's doing.
Yeah. And if you've ever heard Gary, he talks really fast.
Yeah.
He puts a lot into a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. We knew we were limited on time, but we knew 15 minutes with Gary or 30 minutes with Gary is going to be more impactful than an hour and a half with somebody else. So
that's right.
That's why we wanted to have Gary on. and he didn't disappoint. And so, again, like Tyler said, thank you for joining us. This is your first time. We appreciate you having here. We do want to thank our sponsors for the podcast, the first one being Choctaw Casino and Resort. We were just up there a few weeks ago, the episode that just released with Aaron Watson. We actually did that live.
If this is your first time, finish this episode, go back to Aaron Watson.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was one of my favorites.
It was awesome.
And it started off the right way because Aaron Watson, actually a country music singer, actually rapped.
Yes.
In the beginning of that episode, and it was on point.
Darren was talking trash the whole way up there. This is the last country music singer we'll ever have on this podcast. And then Darren, literally at the end, unsolicited, said that might have been my favorite episode.
That was favorite.
So go back and listen to that. But all that to say, Choctaw was an awesome experience. They just completed a massive renovation and expansion to their campus. They've doubled everything pretty much. The brand new hotel, they've got a resort style pool, brand new restaurants. We got to try it all, and it was a phenomenal time. So get yourself up there, especially if you're near Durant, Oklahoma. Yeah. Obviously, if you're from anywhere, but if you're near Durant, Oklahoma, it's an easy drive. Yeah. If you're in DFW, easy drive up I-75. Just an hour away.
The coolest thing, if you're in Texas, if you're in the South, you're anywhere, you don't have to go to Vegas to get the experience.
That's exactly right.
Durant, Oklahoma, of all places, you get all of that experience. And our wives, my wife likes really nice things, right? Like she loves really nice things, and she couldn't stop talking about it. So Choctaw, awesome. And then next, our awesome partner, Sleep Number.
Yes.
I just got some shipments in yesterday. Some boxes, got some pillows come in. I'm waiting for that big old mattress to be delivered. But listen, we are so super excited about this partnership. The three of us competing at the highest level of football, understand what it is about recovery. And in partners with the Dallas Cowboys, Dak, is the poster child for them right now. But here's the deal: is I know Dak, and Dak is not just this isn't just a sponsorship deal. This isn't just hey, you pay me and I'll say what you want to say. He believes in it. You've been in the locker room, talk to those guys.
Exactly, and they're always talking about their number, whatever their sleep number is. And listen, it's just not about Dak. For this partnership, this is something that we pursued because we're all about recovery. We're all about mental wellness. We're all about our physical health. This is about recovery, and Sleep Number is the partner that is going to allow us to tap into that recovery and live a healthier lifestyle. So I can't wait. Look, my bed's not in just yet. We'll be in, and I can't wait to get on that.
And I'm the nerd of the group. I love geeking out on heart rate variability and oxygen consumption and all that good stuff. And so Sleep Number has taken these mattresses. They're the Tesla of mattresses. They've taken and really created an unbelievable technology. Back in the day, you just take a mattress, you just sleep on it. Now they're actually doing all these things to help you, like Tyler said, with your recovery. So go check out sleepnumber.com. We're very grateful for them for partnering with us. The official sleep partner of the Dallas Cowboys is now the official sleep partner of the Darren Woodson Show. So we're super grateful.
And I'm not going to say that if you get a Sleep Number, you're going to be like GaryVee in this episode, but I'm not going to say you're going to be one step closer. That's for sure.
Maybe a Sleep Number would chill him out a little bit. Maybe that'd be good for him.
Relax.
But anyway, we appreciate you guys. Again, if this is your first time listening, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the Darren Woodson Show. And without further delay, let's get on with it. Enjoy the episode.
GaryVee.
What's good, fam?
How you doing, brother?
I'm salty and angry.
Oh,
as a diehard Jets fan.
You fucking should be. You should, with your green background, your ass should be salty and angry. 0-3. Hey, well, you know what? Honestly, it's all about the same. It's like things have not changed. It's not like your expectations should be 0-3, right?
I'll be honest with you, though. I think, and you know this, I think people are a little confused. From 1997, Parcells' first year, to 2011, Rex's last playoff run. In that 14 seasons, which, I was 22 to 30, it was, 36. And 22 to 36 is like a good sports life age.
Right.
From 97 to 2011, the Jets made 3 AFC championship games, like 8 or 9 playoff appearances, and every season where their quarterback wasn't out for the year, Vinny in 99, Pennington, every season where their QB wasn't out for the year, every game counted to the last game, whether they made the playoffs or not. So, as a kid, I was used to this because from 86 to 97. In that 11 years, they made one playoff run in 91. And it was the first day, it was the playoff game against the Oilers, and it was the first Saturday game, and they were out. So it was quick.
Look at you.
Dude, he knows more about the Jets than you know about the Cowboys.
Absolutely.
I'm real. I don't even go into the specifics of how Wesley Walker dropped a pass in the corner of the end zone and Warren Moon wasn't playing well. And like, I got real. Wow. I've watched every snap of every Jets game since 1982. All of them, live. No tape delay.
So what happens when you're going to own the Jets? So when you actually own the Jets.
I'm going to be the best owner in sports.
What's the first thing? First thing.
For example, ready? Everything is organizational. First thing will be, wake up Monday morning and have a meeting with, I'll probably have already a lot of thoughts on it, but get a real feeling on, do I feel good about the GM? Mm-hmm. And
Every
if
week.
I do or if I don't, that's the trigger point, because the NFL, even in 15 or 20 years, when I expect to transact, is going to be an NFL. It's the draft. It's the fucking draft.
Yeah.
But it's the head coach though too, right? Is you look at Parcells and you look at Rex Ryan.
Listen, I'm with you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of variables, but let's be honest. Bruce Arians is not a good coach. Aaron Reed is not a good coach, aka very good coaches that can't win the big game until they have the guy.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there and the Jets are on the board, and I'm like, we're about to take Jamal Adams because that's what all the press said. I didn't have a relationship with Mac. And I'm sitting there and I'm saying, wow, we have Josh McCown, who I love, one of my favorite humans on earth.
Yeah,
agreed.
Yeah.
We have Josh McCown starting this year. We don't have a quarterback. I'm in love with Deshaun Watson. I will never lie. I didn't know enough about Patrick Mahomes. I didn't know, right? I didn't know.
Yeah.
But that's not my job to know.
Yeah. But you've seen what Deshaun was doing in Clemson. You saw that.
I also was now we were in the football recruiting game. So not only did I know what Deshaun was doing on the field, I had a good sense of his character as a leader and things of that nature. Obviously, there's a lot going on in Deshaun land now, but I fully, there was zero doubt in my mind that he was going to be a successful quarterback in the NFL.
Right.
We don't have one. We're on the board, and forget about my own feelings of what I thought about Jamal, which is completely become true.
Right.
And I feel comfortable saying this to you because I've said it to him. I'm like, man, this guy's a linebacker.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
And now he's I was kind of joking about that.
Yeah. Oh no, he's full-fledged.
It's turned out to be absolutely true, which is bonkers.
Yep.
And I was very in that, who I compared Jamal to coming out of the draft, and it's really played out? Urlacher.
It was a safety.
Safety in New Mexico.
And I was like, there's something here. And I think I think Jamal would be dominant as a full-time linebacker.
Yeah. We had a guy here, Roy Williams, used to play with us with the Cowboys.
Right.
Similar in a lot of ways.
University of Texas?
Yeah. Oklahoma. Oh, he beat disgrace.
Right.
Oklahoma. Yeah.
That's right. Anyway, nonetheless,
there was another Roy Williams.
I'm super. There was another. That's where.
Yeah, that's right.
For picking up on what I did there. I realized after I said it. I'm very salty because unlike last year, you knew the head coach was a lame duck, so you had hope. You knew you had first of all, you thought Trevor Lawrence was in the cards most of the season.
Yeah.
Now we are in full rebuild as it feels like for the last decade, but you don't have those assets.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now you're dealing with your new coaching reality, and you're asking yourself what's going to happen here. You're dealing with your new QB. Listen, I'm a 40-year vet football fan. It takes time. I'm cool with it. I get it all, but you're starting to lose ammo. We have a draft class, not this year's class, which has actually been very productive, but last year's class, Becton's out and came in completely out of shape and might be too big to begin with. Fucking I don't have to tell you guys because you guys know, the Denzel Mims thing is a meme in itself. Yeah. Both of our third-round picks that year, Ashton Davis was my favorite pick in the draft, but he's hurt.
Right.
The defensive lineman from Florida can't even get on the field because, by the way, it's a strength of our team. So he's not that entire draft is a wash.
Right.
And that's we've gone a decade without drafting well.
Yeah, sucks. It sounds familiar though.
Yeah.
Welcome to the club.
What do you have? What do you have in the draft next year though? Do you have you traded away? And I haven't followed you all close enough.
We're in the other good place. We have our own pick, which fuck, right?
Yeah.
It's
One.
exactly. And
Quarterback again.
and I don't think so. Okay, listen, on the flip side, we've had a lot of quarterbacks come through this place.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to be pretty pessimistic because I'm just protecting myself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But this kid's dynamicness, upside stuff is different than anything we've seen.
Yeah.
Listen, he may not be. Jeff George was dynamic. Like you could be what you don't have to be. Just because you're dynamic doesn't mean you're going to be. But like we've definitely not had a quarterback that slings it like this.
Yeah, he's different.
And like what I'm worried about, really, what I asked myself, I flew up to Boston today for a meeting, and the whole flight, I'm like, should we've sat this kid all year? You know, you think about Rodgers, you think about Mahomes, you think about Brady, and I'm like, man, it goes both ways. Obviously, Kyler's been successful. But I was like, man, was this kid, like, could he be sat a year? Like, we don't do that. Like, I think about that shit a lot more now.
Think about what Peyton did in Indy, though, right? I mean, look at his first year.
Exactly.
20 interceptions.
You never know.
20 interceptions.
I've been so around the block. Like, I'm not gonna Monday. Like, everyone has such a hot take 40 seconds into a career.
Of course.
Like, I'm not worried about that. So final thought, because I know we're bouncing around and we're having fun now. We also have Seattle's pick because we got 2 number ones for Jamal, which is the best trade the Jets have made in a long time.
Right.
And I think Seattle's in trouble.
I do too.
Yes, they are.
I do too.
So I think that thing can fall apart real fast. The Russell thing was weird. I don't have any details, but it was weird. Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
The Pete Carroll model, which by the way, Salah's going to have too. That kind of coach, it's really, really, really good when it's good. Like the best version, better than the Belichick version.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But it can fall off real fast when it's not good.
That's right.
Yeah. And when you don't have a
so-
defense.
Yeah.
And by the way, the NFC West is impossible.
Oh, bro. The Cards are 3-0 right now.
Well, the Rams are 3-0. Going to win
The
it
Rams
all.
are the best team in football.
Yeah, the Rams are the best team in football.
The Rams are the best team in football.
Yeah.
Today.
No, but listen, the Rams are the
they're
best
legit.
team.
Today.
Yeah.
The Rams are the best team in football.
today.
Honestly, I really believe that. I think Stafford has always been underrated. I've always loved him. This is like, everyone's like Sam Darnold, right? Weapons. Right. I've been like, man, what about Stafford? Stafford actually gave you reason to believe this would happen.
Right.
I think McVay's good. I really do.
Yeah, he's a damn good coach. They're solid. They are solid.
They're going to be good. They're going to be good.
Let me introduce my group here. Ben Gibbs to my right here, or to your left, I would say, and then Tyler Klutz as well. Both athletes. Tyler played with the Cowboys, Chicago Bears, every damn team in the league for a number of years. And Ben's probably the best athlete of the bunch, and he had an injury in college, and now he's sitting next to me.
The funny joke in my family is the best Manning never played because he got hurt.
Oh yeah,
so I believe in that shit. You know what? By the way, I was talking about it today actually. About somebody asked me about Joe Douglas, and I said I'm actually a fan. Given he's the media in New York is shitting on him. And you know what I hate about the media, and this is a fair thing. Right. People don't clarify things that are really, really unfair. They're like, Joe's been our GM for 3 seasons, but they're not talking about the fact that he came. Remember the Jets did that weird thing where they let fucking McCagnon draft, and then they brought in Joe after they fired him. Yeah. So he's only had 2 drafts. This is one included. So, but what I said was, even if Joe's right about Becton, in business, my life, when I'm right about an executive, I get the dividends.
Yeah. Let's jump into your story.
Please.
GaryVee. Listen, at 14, you joined the family business at your father's liquor store. Man, give us some background and what was life like at that point?
It was pretty good, actually, because only 11 years earlier, I lived in a studio apartment with 8 family members in Queens, and we just came to this new country, and the economy was shit, and my parents were scared, and it was intense, and I'm a little baby, but you're feeling that, right? And I remember, like, living in Queens, kind of just knowing, like, you don't know any different when you're that young as I was, but just knowing that people had cars and we walked everywhere, like you knew stuff even as you're an animal, right? You're sensing things. And so at 14, my parents at that point, my dad lived the American dream. He went from a stock boy to owning his own liquor store. Now it wasn't Walmart, but it was a family business, and we were a middle-class family. And that was, when you're middle class coming from where we came from, $100 in America with no language, you're feeling kind of like we made it, to be
Right.
frank, right?
Yeah.
And what else was it like? I was a terrible student, and my parents said, "You're a bad student, so you have to learn how to work." And so they put me to, like, my parents often say to me that they regret the way they treated me because I work like a dog, like every weekend, every summer vacation, all of them. I hurt my back as a kid because carrying the case of liquor. So I think my parents would say that they regret some aspects of it. I struggle when they say that because I'm so grateful, because gratitude and work ethic are foundational to so much good for me. And I also am such a purebred entrepreneur that, one of the reasons I love sports is, and you guys know this, all three of you, there's athletes that were so gifted and it was their way out or a way to make money that they play sports.
Right.
Then there's another group that has all those things too, but they actually love it. Like they would kind of play football for free or basketball or tennis. That's who I am as an entrepreneur. None of it for me is because I thought it was the way to make money. It was all because it was my destiny. I love doing business, lemonade stands, shoveling snow, washing cars, selling baseball cards, working in my dad's liquor store, falling in love with building a wine retail store, investing stuff. The way that people love golf and sailing and hiking and yoga and like playing video games and reading, cooking and watching sports, that's how I treat work. For me, this is a blessing. I am truly that. I love my work like a hobby. So at 14, it was like kind of the beginning of my life. I hated school. That was my whole framework prior. Now I'm working in the store. Very quickly, I'm showing my dad, who I didn't really know because he worked all the time, that I got a little some magic in me. He, to his credit, gives me room to breathe. So I'm doing random shit, moving around case stacks, taking the peanuts off the counter and putting little bottles of champagne. Now our average sale is going up. I'm really a Coco Gauff. I'm really a LeBron Kobe. I really believe that. Like, the reason I give so many kids a lot of room when they start in my company is I don't think business is any different than sports. There are 22-year-olds that come on the scene and do work from day one.
Yeah.
You don't need everyone's like in business, like, well, you gotta have I'm like, Randy Moss walked in day one and did damage.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. But you're seeing these young entrepreneurs come in. But what is the one thing that you're looking at when you're seeing these young kids come in at 22 years old? What is what's the skill?
Today, I'm looking for, are they full of shit? They're doing it because it's cool. Right? Are they putting entrepreneur in their Instagram bio to hook up? Or do they live for this?
Yeah.
Right? Because in 2007, when I started investing, Zuckerberg, Evan Williams and Jack Dorsey, David Karp, who founded Tumblr. I was betting on them because I'm like, oh, you're like me. You breathe for this shit. A couple years later, when this all got hot, the Social Network movie came out, everybody saw the money. Now I'm cool. Right? Like rappers that I think are the coolest in the world think I'm cool.
Cool, yeah.
Athletes that I think are the coolest in the world, they think I'm cool. And how do I handle that? Not the way you would think. It makes me realize, like, oh shit, again, I got lucky, gratitude, I'm thankful. I can't believe being an entrepreneur is now cool. When I was growing up, it wasn't.
Right.
But that also means everyone's always gonna try to be the cool thing. People always wanted to be a rapper, an athlete, or in the 80s, a rock star. So now what I'm seeing is a lot of people who just wanna be an entrepreneur because it's cool.
Right.
And what I'm looking for is, do I believe in this person, that it's in their DNA, or are they subconsciously trying to be it because it's the thing?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So is that the separator then, in your opinion? It's
100%.
You stand out in the crowd because you actually love it. You don't stand out because
and because I actually, couple things. I actually am good at it. Like, one thing that's unique about my career is, like, I'm good at it. Like, I built one of the largest wine stores in the country. I invested in Facebook and Twitter before anybody else. I co-founded Resi, which is a $200 million exit to Amex. I sold Empathy Wines for over $100 million. VaynerX is a $300 million a year revenue business. I am one of the most known people. I built my personal brand. VeeFriends is one of the 5 most successful NFT projects. Like, at some point, my personality confuses people to how good I am. I almost think I'm like a Novak Djokovic. Like, I think Joker is underrated because in tennis, he's a little bit too much for the tennis establishment. So they like Nadal a little more. Same with me in business world. I'm a little too ridiculous to be taken serious for how good of an actual businessman I am. So I think it's a great question. I think I stand out because against the odds of how much I fucking talk it, I'm over delivering on my hyperbole, but it's confusing because that's just, people don't do it the way I do it.
Yeah. So you talk about like, I'm good at it. And I think back in the late 90s, early 2000s, when you took your dad's liquor store, took it to online sales, like direct sales. I mean, that was way ahead of its time. So do you just have does an entrepreneur just have the foresight to say, okay, hey, I can A plus B actually equals
This
Z?
is why I keep it real humble. My parents had sex at the right second on some real shit. Yeah. My parents had sex at the right second that somehow gave me some shit that just makes me see stuff slightly. And actually, I'm going to use this context of this show. I have always attached to when athletes have said shit feels slow. Or the game slowed down for me. Let's talk back to what we were talking about. Zach Wilson, it feeling fast makes sense to me. Everything always felt slow. Even back in 96, I'm like, the internet's gonna be big. There was no debate. It was like, this is gonna happen. I've always understood how people thought, why they did shit, right? NFTs, why do I know? Because people wanna flex. I know why people buy clothes. I know why people buy cars. I know insecurity and confidence. I know it. I know it. As if like, you know what I mean? So I know that NFTs are going to be something people use to express themselves. It's why I knew social media was going to work. Followers, blue check marks. And I know why people say no, because they don't understand it. They don't want to do some work for it. So I always had it, but again, that's like being born LeBron. LeBron is probably incredibly proud of the work he put in to be who he is. But I'm sure LeBron goes to sleep sometimes and also realizes he's an athletic freak born that way.
He just knows. That's right.
That's how I feel. I have worked my fucking face off for 30 plus years, but let there be no confusion. I'm incredibly aware that I'm unusual in my ability to see around a corner.
But let me ask you about that, because I've got this theory that work doesn't feel like work when it's something that you're truly into. So for you personally, does the last 30 years feel like you're working your ass off, or does it just feel like this is just what I do? This is who I am?
Not only that, my man, let me add something. So the answer is you've got it pegged, comma. I like it so much that I actually have very little business anxiety, because I actually, and nobody will believe this, so I get it, but I'll spit it. I just don't care about the money and or the perceived winning or losing. One of the great things about my career that I try to push on to everybody else is I don't hear the booing because I don't hear the cheering.
Right.
Like, not only do I love this game, I like it so much, I feel like I'm playing in my backyard by myself. You know, again, and I'm throwing this at you guys because I think you guys know this better. I've always believed that business. My brother coined something. I'm pissed it's his. I got to give AJ credit. He once said in an interview somewhere, he's like, business is the fifth major sport. And I loved it because I understood what he was trying to say. I think you guys have met people in the locker rooms through the years where it's just like calm. You just know when it's ups, when it's downs, they're just, and that's how
and that's through the chaos. You're saying, I mean, through the chaos.
For me, going at a bit like a company failing, or this Friday, I don't know when you guys are airing it, but we're taping on a Monday. This Friday, 5 of my original drawings from B-Friends are being sold at the prestigious Christie's auction. That's some crazy shit. My art being sold next to Andy Warhol. And fucking like, it's crazy. But even when it gets that high, or I have a big multi-$100 million exit, or something goes public, V-Friends is got a $500 million market cap. It's something I invented 9 months ago. I just don't think I'm special. I don't think I'm better than anybody. It's kind of like irrelevant what everybody else plays for. I'm just doing it because I want to play.
So Gary, let me ask you this, and we want to wrap up because I know we got to get you to this next deal, but you're talking about athletes, professional athletes, right? The 0.01% make the top level. Entrepreneurs, same statistics, right? You've got to be the elite of the elite to make it to where it is.
One big difference. Oh, actually, I'll let you finish your thing and I want to add something. Go ahead.
No, I love that. So, but speak to the 99.9% that may just not have the gift. Their parents didn't have sex at the right moment in time to gift them, because there's such a
This is why I got you. This is why
you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. And I'm going to add something. This is why entrepreneurship is special. Unlike the thing the three of you had, or even worse, and I don't know if it's worse, I can't speak for your life, but injuries, right? Like entrepreneurship, and of course entrepreneurship has real life stuff, but in sports, the 0.1%, you're actually right? To get to the level that we talk about, I was thinking about in a meeting earlier today, I said the most underrated influencer that you can do work with from a marketing standpoint is a college star that didn't make it in the pros.
That's right, right.
Because a college star that didn't make it in the pros was famous as fuck on that state or region.
Yes.
And because they didn't make it, many of them, I don't have to tell you guys, will probably take a $5,000 or $10,000 or $15,000 deal, and you can get a lot of value if you market them where they were. Greg Oden, who's a wonderful guy, I've met him a couple times. He was a real superstar at Ohio State.
That's right. Yeah.
Right.
He's a
Braxton
beast.
Miller, an uber star, right? And Brax is my guy. Like, you give him a $25,000 marketing thing, he'll look at it. And if you want to do work in Ohio, especially with 30-year-olds, you got Brax, right?
Right.
In business, if you're in the top 15%, you're a millionaire. So unlike sports, the reason I love entrepreneurship is you don't have to be the 0.01%. You have to be the 0.01% to be me. I'm going to buy the New York Jets for billions of dollars.
Right. Right.
But if you make $613,000 a year because you have a $5 million business and you like it, that is a golden life.
Yes. Yeah. That's a good,
and that
great
is
perspective.
not in the top, so I think that, and by the way, my favorite thing, back to tying a bow on this chat, my favorite thing is I'm 45 and my career started taking off a decade ago. When it first did, I started meeting athletes that I grew up liking who were a little bit older than me. As I've gotten to know a lot of 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70-year-old athletes couldn't replicate the adrenaline after they retired in the 70s, 80s, 90s. They just couldn't.
Yeah.
From what I can tell, and maybe you guys know this better, I don't know if most athletes can fully replicate the adrenaline of being in front of 80,000 people. However, no question, business has become a healthy outlet for the modern athlete as entrepreneurship got big, where they don't have to go. I mean, the amount of athletes that are 37 years old, I don't think normal human beings understand this unless you're really deep in it. When you're 37 years old and you retire, 37, from something like sports, the drop-off is the reason so much alcoholism, drug use, depression came in. The fact that business now has this thing that a lot of them can go to. I had a meeting with Des Bryant 6 months ago talking about NFTs. The passion in that man's eyes.
No lack of it.
You know what?
No lack of it.
I left that meeting saying, good for him. Because listen, we all know Des, that he's got a lot of energy. If he didn't have something that could give him that fire, who knows where that energy goes?
That's right. Yeah.
When I looked at it, I'm like, good for him. He's going to be able to put, and I think business is the greatest thing that has happened about the popularization of business in the last 15 years. That I believe is that not only for athletes, for many people, it gets to replicate something that they can't find anywhere else that's sustainable and forever. I'm 45, heading into the prime of my career. If I had been lucky enough, like I wanted to be as a kid, an athlete, I would have been long retired.
Unless you're Tom Brady.
Right.
Hey man, I know we're out of time.
That's why I want,
because we had the technical difficulty and because I love this energy. In January, we're going to do this again.
Yes. And I want to talk 360 VR animation videos with you at some point. So next time we get back, we're talking.
Love you guys.
All right. Love you too, man.
Success.
Take care, brother.
thank you so much, brother.